Hi everyone, welcome to another FlashBlack anime review. Why is it a flashback? Because we're flashing back and I'm black. This is gonna be just a little bit different from what I normally do. For this review, it's gonna be more like a review slash vlog kind of thing or whatever. Cause I post the links to my reviews on Twitter and I ask people like, oh, comment on the video, let me know what you think of it or whatever. And one of the main things I really get is that the music I put in the background of my other two reviews is like you can't hear my voice or whatever. So this one I'm just uh, recording straight off of YouTube, and it's gonna be completely unscripted, kind of like how the earlier Twilight shit reviews were, but these are actual official reviews, so I'm gonna try to do my best for the most part, so that I'm not sounding, you know, stupid or anything. So today the subject of today's review is going to be. Sorry about that. Today we're going to focus on Nobuhiro Watsuki's Ruroni Kenshin, or Meiji Swordsman Romantic Story Ruroni Kenshin, Wandering Footman Ruroni Kenshin, whatever the hell you want to call it. Ruroni Kenshin is a shonen series, originally ran in Shonen Jump, and I don't really care to look up the year at the moment. Uh, and the story is set in the Meiji era of Japan. So like after the fall of I think the Tokugawa shogunate. Uh, yeah, it's set in the 11th year of the Meiji. Uh, uh, yeah, the Bakumatsu era. Yeah, the I don't know precisely what the year is, so I don't know. I don't feel like really checking it out or anything. But basically, during the war, there was a samurai that was known as Hitokiri Batosai, or as they call in English, Batosai the Manslayer. And he was a pretty badass swordsman, and he killed a shit ton of people or whatever. And he really helped to like carve out the path for the new Meiji regime or whatever. But right after the war, he disappeared for like 11 or so years. So flash forward 11 years, like the 11th year of the Meiji or whatever, and we enter our protagonist, Himura Kenshin, as he's walking through, I believe, Tokyo. Yeah, the story is set in Tokyo. One night, and there's a young woman named Kami Kaoru accuses him of being Bato's the manslayer, because he's out late at night and he's carrying a sword, and at this time, swords have been banned. So it makes him look pretty suspicious. But he shows that he's like, "Oh, this is a reverse blade sword. You really think I can kill anyone with it?" She's still like, "Well, you should know that it's the 11th year of the Mage. The swords are banned, and if you go walking around this time of night, people are gonna think it's Tosai and all that crap, whatever." So she says that she's trying to defeat Batosai the Manslayer, who's been committing murders or whatever around her area and been using her family name, her family's style of swordsmanship. Her father ran a dojo. Now he's dead. She's the assistant master of the Kamiya Kashin style of swordsmanship. Later on, it's revealed that the person that Batosai or whatever is really one of her father's former students who started killing people at the dojo. And basically, what her father did was he pretty much messed up his right hand so horribly that he could never again use a sword in his right hand. So the guy vowed revenge, typical villain crap, and comes back now and to dishonor her family's name and put shame on her, and then to finally kill her after revenge. Uh, Kenshin walks in and he reveals that he is the actual Batosai, and he quickly gets rid of this guy and all the guys who brought with him. And as he's going to leave, Kaoru's like, "Wait, don't go. You know, I don't care about your. I told you before, I don't care about your past and everything." Uh, and so he was a wandering samurai, but he decided to stop wandering and to stay there at the dojo with her. And basically, the whole story kind of revolves around him and the other group of friends that they gather together, which are Snosuke Skara, kind of Street Fighter kind of guy who was initially kind of somewhat of an antagonist, but became a member of their kind of group of allies. Myojin Yahiko, the son of a samurai who's like the kind of the rival shonen kid type character of the story, and then Megumi Takane, who is this really hot female doctor who kind of had her own whose introduction kind of had its own little arc in the story for the most part. But as the story stands, what happens for the most part is some swordsman from the past comes into Kenshin's life or whatever, and Kenshin normally ends up just fighting him, beating him down or whatever, and everyone goes home happy. This series is divided into three arcs. There is the Tokyo arc, which is like volumes. It spans volume 1 through 7 of the manga, and then the Kyoto arcs, and then there's the Kyoto arc, which spans volumes 8 through, I want to say, like 15, 16, 17, or 18 of the manga, and then there's the Jinpu arc, which is like volume 19 or 18 through the rest of the series. The anime similarly is also divided into three arcs, which are also the Tokyo arc, the Kyoto arc, but then the last season of Ruroni Kenshin, because there are 3 seasons of it, the last season is all fillers, because Watsuki hadn't, at what normally happens to the anime. The manga's too, like, they're trying to catch up with the manga and everything, so they're doing a lot of fillers and everything to give the writer time to come up with new material, but the fillers were so negatively received that that the popularity of the anime went way down. So they had to just pull it off the air. But so that's kind of the plot of the series. So for this review, I'm kind of going, I guess I can touch on like the art and music. The art of Ruroni Kenshin it's really, really good. Like, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's shonen, but shoujo, but it does a lot of like kind of like shoujo-ish characteristics, like with the eyes in Ruroni Kenshin are like really kind of shoujo for some of the characters, like Kenshin's and Kaoru's, and even like Megumi's for the most part, that they're really big and expressive eyes. Uh, there's not really much else I can say on the other than that it's pretty good art style, even in both the anime and the manga. The music is also pretty awesome. Not really much else to like really touch on there. So I'm doing it unscripted and everything. I don't feel like looking at the thing I typed up and everything. I want to keep this as, for the most part, fresh and original in my thoughts and everything as possible. It'll probably turn out with the review being much shorter than what it would have been if I were just reading it. So I guess now I can move on to what I'll be doing differently now. Instead of just doing like what works and what doesn't work in the series, it'll be what I like versus what I don't like about the series. Uh, what I like about Ruroni Kenshin is how it's not a typical shonen anime or manga series. A lot of shonen series focus on the protagonist is always like in his uh, uh, teens for the most part. But Ruroni Kenshin himself is 28 years old. Uh, and like I remember when I was writing on my review, one of the things I said in it was that uh, if Ruroni Kenshin were to function as a regular shonen series, then the protagonist would be either Yahiko or Snosuke. Because Snosuke is like 17, and I'm pretty sure he's 17, and Yahiko is like 10. So odds are that if this were just a regular one of the most shonen series, uh, the one of them would be the protagonist, but they're not. And I really can't, like, looking at the series in general overall, I really can't see what kind of a story the series would turn out to be like anyways if they were the protagonists, you know? But since we have Kenshin as the protagonist, we can do all the kind of typical, somewhat shonen fights and everything, but actually have them be realistic in setting and everything. Because how the hell you can have Yahiko Sanosuke fight against like trained assassins and everything when they're 10 using a wooden sword and just their regular fists. So that's one of the things I like about Ruroni Kenshin. I like the art of Ruroni Kenshin. I like the music of Ruroni Kenshin. Uh, I really like the antagonists of Ruroni Kenshin. Like, really the first kind, well, except for like the very first one, Gohei, who's like kind of just like who's like just kind of tries to kill Kenshin a lot in the beginning of the series, but then he kind of just fades off to nothing after that. Uh, but I like a lot of the antagonists from Kenshin. Like I like uh, Jine, who was like really one of like the first. He appeared like in the second volume of the series, and he was really one of those guys that wasn't messing around at all. Like he kidnapped Kaoru in an attempt to draw. Oh, yeah, I guess I should probably bring that up. One of the things about Kenshin is that Kenshin has vowed never again to kill anyone, and so he uses the reverse blade sword, which is a sword where like the cutting blade, like okay, got some little yeah, like reverse blade sword, the blade of it would be this side, the back of the blade, while the back of the blade would be just the front part. So it's like the blunt, dull edge, while the sharp cutting part is here. So, and that's kind of what keeps Kenshin from killing people. When Kenshin, though, is unable to protect the people he cares about, he starts slipping into his Batosai mode and is actually then fully ready and willing to end the life of anybody. And it happens a couple times in the series. But yeah, but Jine was like the first villain to really kind of bring that out of Kenshin intentionally. And as stupid as the thing as it was, Jine really was kind of prepared for it. Uh, like he knew a little bit about Kenshin's style for the most part. Like Kenshin is a practitioner of the Bato Jutsu, which is like quick sword drawing and everything. And uh, during that fight, Jine had he knew like what that Kenshin was getting ready to do with an actual Bato Jutsu, like an attack, and he's like, oh, it's like a speed that rivals the gods, but there's that split second afterwards where if the attack misses, he can't do anything, and Kenshin was able to do a double Bato Jutsu where he used not only the sword but the sheath of it, and Kenshin then explains that that he's called Batosai because he has completely mastered everything about the Bato Jutsu. That's the other thing I like about Kenshin himself is that a lot of shonen protagonists like Naruto, Luffy, Ichigo, characters like that, they know how to fight, yes, but they're not. But the situation they find themselves in when they're like fighting people that that realistically they shouldn't be able to beat, are most of the time those people are vastly more powerful than they are, and they end up winning through determination, guts, power, friendship, love, whatever the hell it is. Kenshin, on the other hand, is a trained and experienced and a war-hardened samurai. So his skills and everything are perfectly justified in how they're used and everything, as well as so his power. Uh, and I don't really like it when protagonists or like shonen protagonists have what I like to call unjustified power, but then again, I guess you can kind of argue that some of their power is pretty justified given the setting and how the series work and everything. I like to pick fights about shit like that, but whatever. So it's another thing. What else do I like about Ruroni Kenshin? I like how, for the most part, realistic the series is. Ruroni Kenshin is a series that does not use a whole lot, and that it barely uses any supernatural elements in it at all. It is really one of the most realistic uh, shonen series I have ever seen in my entire life. Case closed. I mean, Detective Conan, if it counts as shonen, I don't know, it runs as Shonen Sunday. It's more mystery type series. But that series also in itself is very real. For the most part, looking over the main problem the protagonist finds himself in. Everything else in the series is extremely realistic, and Ruroni Kenshin also does that. Everything in Kenshin, for the most part, is extremely realistic, except within the bounds of reality. There's very little kind of leeway for a bunch of like energy blast. There are just like no energy attacks, period at all in Ruroni Kenshin at all that I actually saw. Uh, Everything was firmly grounded in reality until like Watsuki's a very big fan of Marvel. Uh, so it shows in like the last arc of the manga, one of the villains there, it's like, you look like Venom, but this is Rurouni Kenshin, and like yeah, you don't really fit here. But for the most part, Watsuki justifies all the shit that goes on in the series. I like just the characters of Rurouni Kenshin. Especially Kaoru. Kaoru is like one of my favorite female characters, and female characters in shonen series really tend to get like the short end of the stick, and I think this is kind of true in media as a whole, like any type of like cartoon or comic for the most part. Like female characters really tend to get really like the shit end of whatever it is happening. Kaoru though, Kaoru is 17 years old, and Watsuki said that by the end of the manga or whatever, she would be able to, I think, get like, don't and do not quote me on this, that she'd be like a national level swordswoman, and that's pretty damn badass for someone for a character, especially a female character, I guess, in this day, in this age, in this setting. Uh, but once again, what the hell do I know about Japanese culture and everything, and how women are moving on? But yeah, uh, I love Kenshin's goal in in the series. Excuse me. A lot of shonen protagonists, I know I do the comparisons to other shonen protagonists, but Kenshin's shonen series, so I can make these these comparisons, and actually kind of know what I'm talking about. Most protagonists in shonen series tend to have these outlandish goals that you're really like, no, I don't really see you doing anything with that goal. Or it's all like, oh yeah, I have an impossible dream, you can do it. You know, like Naruto, I want to be like Ash, I want to be a Pokemon master. You know, things like that. Kenshin's goal though is very simplistic. Kenshin only wants to protect the people that he can with his sword. You know, he's vowed never to kill anyone, and he vows to protect the lives of those he's able to with his sword. And that is an extremely realistic goal, you know? Especially given the way the universe works in Rurouni Kenshin, where just trouble seems to like find him no matter what the hell's going on. And Kenshin does end up Kenshin ends up saving Japan uh, during the second arc of during the second season and second main arc of the series. So Kenshin ends up saving a lot of people throughout the entire series run. Uh, what else? I love the fights from Ruroni Kenshin. Once again, I know that shonen, so there's a lot of artistic liberties taken with the reality and the plausibility and possibility of the sword technique used, but the fights in Ruroni Kenshin are amazing. It really does kind of make you feel like you're watching an actual battle between people. You know, a lot of, again, comparison, a lot of other shonen series, like they use a lot of supernatural shit and everything, like magic or chakra or ninjutsu and like bleep and zanbakutos and everything. That's kind of similar, but still really kind of fails to get like when I watch the fights in Ruroni Kenshin, I'm like, I am completely invested in the fight from Ruroni Kenshin. Like, it's one of these few series that is extreme, that has managed to really capture my focus in the way it does, because a lot of the times when Kenshin does fight, you know, with Kenshin being the manslayer and everything, as much as he's built up, Kenshin does really kind of deliver with with how well he manages to do in his fights. Like he managed to live up to his reputation, but there is still kind of that. Okay, well, is he gonna make it through this? Is what's gonna happen? Is he gonna make it through this? Are they gonna make it through this? Like the Shishio arc and even the Jinpu arc at the very end was like, oh my god, what the fuck is going to happen here? What's going on? Is he going to die? Is he gonna live? What's going on? How's he gonna beat this guy? Like it really manages to keep you on the edge of your seat. And I state this from personal opinion because during senior year, which was just 2 years ago for me, I had webpage design for my first period class. And what I did most of my class was I read manga online, and Ruroni Kenshin was the series I actually managed to finish. And during that arc, I was all like, oh my god. Like, I guess I should make clear now that I'm kind of doing, like, the anime and the manga, kind of, instead of just an anime review. It's kind of an overview of the anime and the manga, rather than just the anime. The anime has that filler arc, and I'll get to that in my dislikes. But overall, like, I really love everything about Ruroni Kenshin. There's just a couple of smallish, just little bitty things that I didn't really like. What did now that I think about it, what didn't I like about Ruroni Kenshin? I guess I can kind of say that I didn't like how Kaoru became kind of just a regular bystander whenever. I mean, Kaoru fought in like the first two arcs of the series, like she managed to hold her own against some pretty well, she didn't do like too much fighting, but when she did fight, Kaoru did manage to do pretty well for herself. Uh, but I didn't like how like in the third arc she was just kind of there, kind of blah, I mean, she was there for more moral support than really anything. But I guess, that's kind of okay since I'm not going to talk about that. What else did I like? I did not like how Sanosuke's Zanbato got destroyed and how he never used it. Because I'm like, you still have like kind of like you could still use this like kind of like a pole alarm type deal, or like a hammer kind of thing. I'm like, you know, uh, in terms of the anime, what didn't I like? I didn't mind the fillers, but I didn't love the mod. The one thing I loved about the fillers was the reintroduction of one of the characters, Yutaro, who was like this rich kid who appeared in like the Tokyo arc of the series, and he wanted to learn how to be a samurai or whatever. And so the antagonist of that arc was really kind of manipulating him for money and base operations. But he ended up becoming one of Kaoru's students and started learning swordsmanship. But he got his hand fucked up and everything, and I was like, God damn it, why? So there was that. I kind of hate to say this, given how I kind of talked about the protagonist, but I didn't like how Ruroni Kenshin, like, I know the ending of Ruroni Kenshin was very conclusive, but I felt like, we could just have a continuation of the story now for Yahiko, because Yahiko really managed to grow up into a really cool character, and by the end of the manga, he was like catching swords with like in between his knuckles, yeah, like right like that, and I'm like, oh my god, I would totally read a manga focusing on you now, So I kind of didn't like how Watsuki just kind of ended there, but now Ruroni Kenshin is being brought back, So there's a lot of positive stuff to look forward to now. There's the live action movie, which looks really, really good. There's the new manga, which I'm so anxious to like really read when it comes out. I'm gonna be like, yes, Ruroni Kenshin, fuck yeah! The new PSP game, which hopefully I might be able to buy it anime. So I got a Japanese game at anime. So yeah, so I'm thinking maybe they can have it there. What else? But other than that, uh, that's really kind of all like for this kind of unscripted review vlog kind of thing I'm doing at the moment. Or I guess it's really kind of all I can say. Uh, Ruroni Kenshin. Uh, I guess I can say that the characters in Ruroni Kenshin, I really like the characters because they come off as extremely, given, like I've already said, the realistic setting. I'm not sure if I've already said this already, but the characters themselves come off as extremely realistic. It's not like we're just taking basic shonen tropes and formulas for characters and just kind of running with them. No, no, these characters have actual depth to them. Like every single character that's like a major character in Ruroni Kenshin has depth to them. All of them, all of them have their own struggles. They have to overcome and face everything, and all of them get enough attention on them. So Ruroni Kenshin overall is just an amazing series. I highly recommend it. I'd give Ruroni Kenshin a what would I give Ruroni Kenshin? I'd give the manga a 10 out of 10. The anime I'd give probably an 8 out of 10. Uh, but I'm now thinking, is there anything else I want to say? What's the official release? Go buy the anime, go buy the manga, read the manga, buy the manga. And this has been a FlashBlack official anime review blog type thing. I'm a FlashBlack and I'm signing off. Thank you.